What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 7th day of April, and here we are sitting at about $68.3 thousand with roughly 11 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It is Tuesday. We got about half the day left. We have seen a little bit of a reversal put in since yesterday's candle high of about $70,300. We could come all the way back down here. Again, remember, even though what was it? Yes, 2 days ago, we accepted that we might not be going below this low anymore. We still accept that we could see some wicked volatility in the midst of whatever move it is, right? Here's our low. Here is our high. The way I had it drawn was as if this was the low. But we still saw a lot of volatility here. Even here on this 8-day spree, we saw actually a lot of volatility. Every single day we saw volatility, and it seemed as if it was going to come to an end. It looks like it's just green straight up, but there's wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside. So we saw some volatility throughout there. We can absolutely come all the way back down below 68K. Even a little bit below 67K, and still maintain higher lows and still be moving upwards. I am taking the bullish theory here into effect, but there's not a whole lot of volume. I mean, if we're being fair, anything could happen. We don't have to move down here today. We could move back up. We could move below these lows. I mean, we're in this very sideways volatile range with low volume, and we're in the heart of it. This is what they call no man's land. This is where you don't trade. This is a bad area to trade. Now, relatively speaking, we're clearly at resistance, but even with that, just taking into the whole range into context here, a coin flip is the most appropriate. You know what I mean? We did have the daily high close. We did not get lower low closes or anything like that, and that is something to note. But a lot of that volume came in yesterday, where we wicked up and then we came all the way back down. So it's kind of interesting. I wonder if we have coin glass. I wonder if my internet is cooperating today. Let's see. Peeps, Starburst. Colorado is Starburst? I don't think so. No. Colorado, what would we be? I feel like we'd be more like Reese's, like peanut butter chocolate, something like that, maybe. Maybe I'm just speaking of my own desires. This is taking too long to load. We're going to move on. I was looking at CoinGlass earlier this morning, and, well, for me it's the morning. For Bitcoin it's midday, and looking at the shorts to longs and stuff like that. And I think that there are more shorts outweighing longs right now, both on the heat map and just on the liquidation map itself. But I digress. Let's get into the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out. I want to look at the 15-minute time frame just because things are so screwy. I want to get really nitty-gritty. We don't really get into the 15-minute time frame too often, but we're going to do it here. Looking at this, the RSI clearly is volatile. I mean, it's volatile anytime you get this this oversold, overbought, oversold kind of dynamic without this, right? Like, this is bullish. It's not volatile. There might be some volatility, clearly, but volatile in the RSI is truly expressed as like this type of behavior. You know, that's volatility. And relatively speaking, sure, we've seen some volatility. Stochastics, MACD, they're probably not going to be that helpful, but they do look bullish, at least right here. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, RSI is bearish, stochastics are bearish, and the MACD is actually, it's kind of in an interesting position where you do have bullish divergence going on, but you're also crossing through the zero. You've got like good things and bad things. You can find support here, and I would equate that to finding support at the zero. I mean, you basically did that last time. So we can find support, but you're a little bit further away from the zero than I think I'd like to be to have that confidence. Either way, if you can cross back up to the green effect and get above the zero here with your oscillators, the orange and the blue line, if you can get above the zero level here with a positive cross, that would be good. That definitely would be good. Very, very interesting price action and behavior here. It's very mechanical in nature, I would say. Looking at this with the stochastics, yeah, they're bearish overall, but there's the bullish cross with the blue above the orange. I don't know. We're 1 bad hour away from that coming back down and being bearish, or 1 good hour away from reversing here. So we really are in this kind of wait and see environment. Let's see. 4 hour time frame, choppy and sideways. The 4 hour RSI is taking on a bit more of a bullish shape. More bearish on the shorter term time frames. 4 hour time frame has a little bit of a bullish shape here with the RSI, which is nice. We could afford to go a little bit lower and then come back up. I just wonder Yeah, we've got 3 hours left in this 4 hour candle, so I mean, maybe we are bearish on the 1 hour time frame. Maybe we do go, and again, just relatively speaking, that would be enough to send us down like $500 or $600 or something like that. And then over the next 2 hours, after we drop down for 1 hour or 2 hours, maybe over the next hour or two to finish up this candle, we come back up and close green. I don't know. The 4 hour time frame is definitely not giving me the heebie-jeebies. The stochastics are right at the 50, a perfect area to bounce. We've actually consistently bounced in this area throughout this whole range, and the MACD did cross red, and that's not bearish either. I mean, yes, it's a bearish cross, it's red, but we're well above the zero. We've definitely shifted the tide a little bit. You can see, right? We went from this lower high dynamic to now we have higher highs here in the oscillator. We've crossed above the zero, where before, like here we crossed above, where here we found resistance the last 2 times. So I don't think that this is the end of it. I mean, I think the MACD might be the devil in the details there. I don't think this is the end of it. We might pull back, even if we do pull back a little bit more than I'm currently thinking. Right now, the most that I'm currently thinking is that we might see some kind of standard retracement based off of this move here, and that might take us down to about 67.4 to 67.1K. But even if we go a little bit lower than that, I don't think that we get below these lows. I don't think that we see lower lows. I think that we'll maintain higher lows. If we do, I still believe that we're not going to get below this low. Like if we were to get below this low, I don't believe we get below this low. And I do think that we'll move up above this high before moving below this low, depending on how we react from here. I think that we're in a more bullish posture than a bearish one. And 3 hours left, that's a lot of time for a 4 hour time frame. This is crossed red right now, but if we close this 4 hour time frame up here, it won't be crossed red anymore. So we'd actually be getting a bounce from here, and that is actually a very powerful signal. We've seen those bounces come in before, right here, in this same exact level with the oscillators here, where we bounced, and that bounce, let's see, that came in right here. We were probably not going to bounce. We were probably going to get a red cross if we closed this candle red, but then we closed up. It wasn't immediate, but we did move up. We're debatably right now, we are in an environment like this where we'll slowly push up higher and higher. I don't know if we're going to go above this high, but my expectation is, and has been at least since 2 days ago, that we're going to go up to about 71.6 to 74.6K. And I really could see us getting to this 73.5, 74.6K area. I really could see this happening. But if we stop at the golden ratio, that's fine too. A little bit of volatility. Maybe we go to the 236 and we bounce there, 67.4K. Maybe. And then, find support at the 236, this red line, and prior resistance. Yeah, and prior support. It's suitable. Makes sense to me. Daily time frame here. Just because it makes sense to me doesn't mean it has to happen. Okay, there's plenty of things that make sense to me that don't actually work out. 68.4K. We're in a nonsensical time right now, guys. I wonder, on that note, what are we seeing here? What's the latest haps? Overheard in Silicon Valley. Remember hate speech and misinformation? That was weird. It's still there, guys. It's still there. We don't push back. It's gonna come back with a vengeance too, because they almost had us. They're gonna make sure they do next time. I don't see anything, man. I don't see anything. For those of you that don't understand what this is about, it's about censorship and condemning freedom of speech is really what it is. And some people will turn that around and be like, you mean people saying things that are offensive? And it's like, yes, that's exactly what freedom of speech is, actually. It's if you're getting offended by what somebody says, but they're allowed to say it, that is freedom of speech. People are just, your president is a madman. Yes, we know. It's a very appropriate scene as far as this all goes. I don't think he's a madman. I think he's tactical. I think the media wants you to believe he's a madman, though. But we can get into that at another time. Whenever you remember whenever the Ukraine-Russia conflict started, the war that they've been having for years now. Everybody, all the media outlets, all of them. Every single one of them said the same thing, that that Vladimir Putin is a madman with his thumb on the nuclear button. He's not a madman. You don't have to like him. I don't like Vladimir Putin. I think that if he could have it his way, he would have world domination and absolute power if he had it his way. I think a lot of world leaders would. But he's not a madman. He's a very smart and tactical man. That doesn't mean that he's a good man. That doesn't mean that I'm buttering his bread, but let's just be real, right? It's like there are plenty of world leaders throughout history who were not good people, but they were very good at what they did, and they were very smart too. Attila the Hun, the Mongols, they were very tactical, very smart, but that was raping and pillaging. That's not good stuff. Killing babies, killing women, and villages, entire civilizations wiped out. That's not a good thing, but they were smart. And brutal. And I'm just all I'm trying to say there is that the media will have you believe that Trump is a madman. I don't think he's a madman. That's all I'm saying there. 68.4K. I think he's tactical. We can move on. I don't care to talk too much about that stuff. I was mainly just seeing if there's anything else that's been said to drive the price up or down, because it seems like the Iran conflict is the main driving narrative between fear and greed throughout this range. But I think that as far as we're all concerned, looking at this here, we're probably more in a position to move up than we are to move down. So even if we move down a little bit, we still have higher lows, and you hear this, there's an escalation kicking up in Iran, and there actually is an escalation. It's not just that you hear it, but there actually is. I don't think that that's a time to sell and panic. I think it might be a time to buy, because that's exactly what it's been every single time throughout this. Again, understand, my friends, without trying to get too political here, just very, very plainly saying it out loud. The evidence is in the charts here. Here is when the war started between Iran and the United States and Israel, and now various other countries. They might not be at war, but they're in conflict at least with Iran as well. Like they're in conflict with Iran, not with us. They're more on our side than anything, which should say something. Right? Like if all the neighbors are not on the side of Iran, I don't know, man. It's like if the SWAT team comes, to somebody's house and all the neighbors are like, oh yeah, that guy's crazy. Yeah, get him, SWAT. Or like he's like shooting at your windows and then you shoot back. Like the neighbors aren't the crazy ones, right? I don't know. It seems pretty obvious what's happening here, guys. That a bad regime is being overtaken. But I digress, man. I'm trying to get to a point here without getting political, and I'm failing. 28th of April. This is when the Iran conflict started. This is when it started here. All these things have happened in that time. It's been over a month. All these things have happened. The price action is sideways. We can see it in the price. Everybody seems to care about the narratives surrounding this for the price action, but the price actually tells us that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. At the bottoms, people are saying, it's going to cause World War III. Other countries are going to get involved. Boots on the ground. It's time to go to zero. At the top, everybody's saying, hey, look, it's actually good for the price. It doesn't matter. We're going to start a bull market because of this. No, it's neither. It might be closer to that idea in the sense that it doesn't matter. We're just moving sideways. Moving sideways. We're in this range. We're going to keep being in this range until May or June, but I digress. 68.6K. We haven't even really gotten into... We did do the short-term stuff. We did the 4-hour time frame. Okay, we're trying to wrap this up on the daily then. Daily time frame, I do think this is nice that we've broken out of this here. That we've broken out of this little wedge. I think that's great. Awesome. We're still neutral though. So, not really. Who cares? Choppy sideways, RSI is neutral, not helpful. Stochastics, to be fair, even though you look like you're going to cross down here, you are in a bullish position with the stochastics. We'll see how that plays out. The MACD crossing green as well. I think we're in a bullish position with this. Does this not look exactly the same? Look at this here, right? We found resistance here at the 0. We found resistance here at the 0, but this was partial resistance, and I would think that we cross up. Doesn't this look the exact same as the 4-hour time frame, right? Where we crossed through the 0 but rejected it. We rejected the 0 here, but it was a partial rejection, so then we crossed up. It's like the same. It's the same thing. It's like a fractal in the MACD on the 4-hour and daily time frame. I think that we're going to pump throughout the rest of this month. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we get above this high. But at the same time, man, across above there, maybe we do. Maybe we are pushing 80K by the end of this month. Be interesting to see. With this reading, it's hard to say that we're not going to get above this high. I would imagine if we cross above the 0 here that we do get above this high. But then that's very conflicting with my other belief that we're not going to get above this price here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. But I am bullish. I'm taking the bullish effect here, the bullish belief, and I believe we're going to be moving up as a result of the price action, not of the news or people's emotions. The result of people's emotions will be people selling at the lower ends of this range and people buying at the higher ends of this range, and the people who are not emotional will probably see the light more clearly. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If you hate my politics, that's okay. Don't hate me. We are all, the beautiful thing about this world is that if you're civilized, we are all entitled to our own beliefs. Yep, as long as we're civilized, right? As long as we're civilized, we are entitled to our own beliefs. Not that war is necessarily civilized, but whenever it comes to politics, there's a lot of people, man, who are comfortable cutting out their family, their closest friends, and it's really sad because if you're comfortable cutting out people who matter to you all because of their political ideologies, they're winning. They're winning. Not the people who you're cutting out. I just mean like they, the ominous they, the people who are in charge, the people causing division. If you're letting that division come to your households and your friendships and your relationships, they are winning. And that's what they want. They don't want us united. They want us divided, whoever they are. And they're very good at it. They're very good at it because there are a lot of people who are just severing connections all because of stupid shit. But and then I say that and people be like, oh, but it's not stupid. Yeah, no, it's if you're severing connections because of this, it's stupid shit. Yeah, but I digress. That's a conversation for another time. Maybe I can start a philosophical channel or something like that. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, and take the sand out of your butthole. Bye bye.